Bailee Madison has been acting for about as long as she's been standing, and she's since become living proof that child stars really can go from strength to strength. Madison caught the acting bug young, following in the footsteps of her mother and sister, accompanying them on auditions when she was still just a baby. As she explained to Miami Living magazine, she would forcibly insert herself into certain situations, admitting, "My mom said I used to unbuckle myself for my stroller and try to crash their auditions." The wannabe actress who started off in commercials while still in her stroller always loved the arts, particularly Broadway shows. She booked her first movie, 2006's Lonely Hearts, at age 5 off the back of her sister's audition. She told Miami Living, "I was in the waiting room with my mom. They said, 'Would your sister like to audition? We have this role.' My sister took me around the corner and read with me. I went in, and from that moment on, the journey kinda started." After Lonely Hearts, Madison's big break was undoubtedly her star-making turn in 2007's Bridge to Terabithia. In 2017, MTV reunited her with her co-star Anna Sophia Robb to reminisce about everything the duo got up to on the set 10 years ago. They revealed how close the cast was, in particular Madison and her on-screen brother, played by Josh Hutcherson. He was so concerned about hurting her during their many on-screen arguments that he checked that she was okay after each take. Madison ended up catching feelings and even penned a love note to Hutcherson, which he graciously accepted. As she revealed, "He was so sweet. He just hugged me. He took such good care of me. I love him with all my heart." As a wrap gift, Robb and Hutcherson gave their young co-star a very special present, a fairy costume made from the fabric from all the clothes her character wore. Whether it was alongside screen stalwarts like Salma Hayek in Lonely Hearts or young upstarts like Robb and Hutcherson, it took no time at all for Madison to get comfortable in front of the camera. By 2009, at just 10 years old, she already had a whopping 13 acting credits to her name. So when she starred opposite Tobey Maguire, Natalie Portman, and Jake Gyllenhaal in the family drama Brothers, it was just another day at the office. Discussing her pivotal emotional scene in that movie with Miami Living, Madison noted, "I was able to work till midnight, and it was maybe 11:56, and they just set up for my close-up. I think I was able to do 1 or 2 takes. I remember just being like, oh gosh, I hope we get it. It was a really fun scene to do. That movie was a real blessing to me after it came out, with what it was able to do for me."
Couldn't you just stay dead?
Isabel.
You're just mad because Mom would rather sleep with Uncle Tommy than you.
Isabel! Why would you say that?
2010 found Madison switching lanes in a big way as she starred in her very first horror movie, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, alongside Guy Pearce and Katie Holmes. Speaking to AXS, she noted that she didn't feel any pressure stepping into this darker world, though it was a new experience for her. The most difficult element was working with a variety of computer-generated creatures, none of which were actually on set. She would occasionally have a piece of tape to act opposite, but sometimes it was just nothing. But gradually, she got used to it. The then 10-year-old Madison pledged to watch more horror movies going forward, noting, "Now that I've done a scary movie, I'm okay with scary things. Not like A Nightmare on Elm Street or anything like that, but I like a classical suspense."
It is not safe for you.
As Madison entered those all-important early teen years, her resume continued to grow. She joined the hit TV show The Fosters in 2014, sticking around for 2 seasons before departing in 2016. She was by that point becoming a small-screen staple, having also landed a recurring gig on Disney's Wizards of Waverly Place and a series regular role on the ABC sitcom Trophy Wife. The Fosters was an easy choice for Madison, as she discussed with Your Teen Mag. It turns out that choosing roles is a family affair for her. She explained, "My sister reads the script first, then it goes to my mom, and if they both like it, then I read it. A lot of scripts are quick to take you from a 15-year-old to a 17-year-old overnight, so we say no more than we say yes. We're selective and we try to keep things age-appropriate. We approach every script that way and always have." In 2015, Madison was the victim of online harassment. Rather than ignoring the situation, she took to Tumblr to pen an inspirational essay. She created a space to turn to when things got rough so that she could preach kindness and share her thoughts and feelings. This inspired the I Am More Than a Word social media movement. Madison told Bailee magazine that she's all about kindness and empathy, saying, We are all here to have a voice and make a difference. We all have a choice. It's as simple as walking down the street. You can ignore a person or you can smile, say hello, or even something nice. It may not seem like a big deal, but it's a choice in life that you can walk past things or help that person feel better. It's a constant choice every day to help even one person with that light or that smile. And if you don't, you're missing something. I think it's our job to help give a little push and help spread the lightness. In 2016, Madison started to step behind the camera to produce a couple of movies of her own. There was the kids' adventure Annabelle Hooper and the Ghosts of Nantucket. She followed that in 2017 with A Cowgirl Story. She also had starring roles in both. The actor-turned-producer gushed to the PC principal about the process. It was one of the most gratifying experiences because as a producer, you are working for the sake of not just yourself, but for the rest of the crew. So craft services, grips, the lighting department, animal trainers, and the cast are all following your hands to try and make the set to be as smooth and enjoyable as possible. For me to be trusted with fellow producers and a wonderful director who had been doing this for such a long time, it was a very humbling and wonderful experience. In January 2018, Madison proved how multi-talented she is by publishing her first book, Losing Brave. Co-written with author Stephanie Miller, the young adult thriller highlighted a moment when Madison was anything but cowardly. The plot follows protagonist Peyton Brave in the wake of her twin sister Dylan's disappearance. It deals with psychological trauma as Peyton can't remember anything from the day that Dylan went missing.
It's a story about self-journey, being brave, figuring out who you are, while also figuring out one of the greatest mysteries and fears of her life.
It turns out that Peyton was inspired by both authors' experiences. Madison was both apprehensive and excited about putting herself out there, as she admitted to Teen Vogue. It's a really exciting and nerve-wracking new chapter in my life, and I love the book world so much. I think it's such an amazing kind of relationship that can be formed between the person who's reading and you, just kind of sitting and imagining what this world is in your head. Madison stretched herself even further by getting into the fashion world with a clothing line for Macy's in-house imprint Nowadays. She told Darling magazine in 2018 that although there's a lot on her plate, their collaboration was meant to be. I've always wanted to do a fashion line, always, and I've been approached by multiple people throughout the years and I've said no. Macy's in the holidays came to me. I have shopped at Macy's since I was a little girl, so when a store that I loved and I think is a really great place for families came to me, well, that was a no-brainer. In 2018, Madison returned to her horror roots with The Strangers Prey at Night as a grungy teenager fleeing for her life from mask-wearing psychopaths. She told Dread Central that the movie came around at just the right time, explaining, "I had actually been reading so much at that moment in my life, I just had yet to find a horror script that was so smart and so different and engaging, yet grounded." Madison was also attracted to the physicality of the role, noting to Daily Dead, "I've done some physical stuff before, but that usually happens at the end of filming. In this, every single day I wanted to have bruises on me. I wanted to feel drained because that meant I was putting in the work. Thankfully, the stunt team was all in, and they just put me through the ringer and they let me do everything except for one shot, and that was only because I had to go into makeup and get one of the cuts put on, so I missed it. But I really got put through the ringer for this, and I'm so glad I did." Despite having fingers in plenty of different pies, acting continues to be Madison's first love. Starring as Grace Russell on the Hallmark fantasy series Good Witch, which premiered in 2015, felt like the ideal spot for her as a young actress transitioning into being an adult. Catherine Bell, who plays her on-screen mother, gushed about Madison's professionalism to real life with Jane in 2019. Oh my god, Bailee is phenomenal. I mean, I've got to say I've worked with some child actors in this business, and she is just unbelievable. She's one of a kind, sweet, down-to-earth, humble, kind, loving. The feeling is clearly mutual, as Madison told Assignment X back in 2017 just how much the show meant to her. What I've always loved about this show is it's not necessarily power, it's what's within the heart, and I think as Grace grows up, her heart strengthens and her love for others does as well. Madison's private life became the talk of the tabloids when in 2019 she began dating pop star Blake Richardson. In 2022, she shared a post celebrating their 3-year anniversary together, referring to Richardson as both her best friend and her favorite hand to hold. Richardson is a member of the British boy band New Hope Club, and it was her admiration for his group that initially brought them together. It all started when she began following New Hope Club on social media, which led Richardson to reach out to her directly. For the next year, the two sent messages to each other before bumping into each other on a dating app.
I hearted him, and he hearted me back in like 10 seconds. And I was like, oh, okay.
They got to know each other on a long-distance basis while communicating via FaceTime. It wasn't easy, but as Madison told Teen Vogue in 2024, they persevered. She explained, "I'm proud of our 19-year-old selves for surviving distance and also trying to navigate and grow in your 20s." When Madison signed on to star in the 2021 Netflix musical A Week Away, she wasn't just an actor for hire, she was also one of the project's producers. In the film, Madison portrays a regular attendee of a Christian summer camp who befriends a new arrival, a troubled teenager who's only there on a judge's orders. According to Madison, working on the film was one of the high points of her career.
Yeah, it was simply a joy all around.
It's becoming increasingly common for heavyweight female actors to take on producing roles in their movies, but rarely does this happen for someone as young as Madison. As she told Rose and Ivy, however, taking that step felt like a natural progression for a career that began when she was just a kid. She said, "I do think the life I have lived has given me a sense of confidence." Edgy isn't a word that has typically been used to describe Bailee Madison, but that may have changed when she was cast in Pretty Little Liars' Original Sin, a spin-off series of the sinfully salacious teen drama.
I was the biggest fan of the original. It was like the show that I was obsessed with growing up.
Madison played Imogen Adams, a pregnant teenager who's mourning the recent death of her mother while also harboring some awful secrets. As Madison told TV Line, playing an expectant mom required her to wear a pregnancy prosthesis for several months. She said, "I ended up getting actual back pain, which I had to work out after, but it was an experience. It was definitely a first for me, when I was excited to get to do." Madison opened up more about her role in an interview with HBO.
There's such a level of strength and passion that drives Imogen every single day to keep going.
In addition to being able to bite into such a juicy role, Madison embraced the experience of playing alongside an all-female ensemble cast, and she ended up forging a close bond with her co-stars. She later told Teen Vogue, "The sisterhood and the womanhood that I've been able to actually feel for once in my life fully is a big part of why I would like to be on the show for just a lot of years to come." Dating a successful singer and songwriter clearly rubbed off on Madison, as she has since begun to pursue her own musical aspirations. It soon became clear that Madison was very serious about her music, so much so, in fact, that she signed with Jonas Group Entertainment, the management group run by Kevin Jonas Sr. As Madison told Variety, "I'm finally ready to take this leap. Music is a very personal and vulnerable side of me. Sharing this part of myself with the world means so much, and it feels like a chance to give insight on my heart." It took a few years, but Madison's musical ambitions finally came to fruition in 2024 with the release of her debut single, Kinda Fun. The song was the result of a collaborative songwriting session with Blake Richardson, which had been bolstered somewhat by a few glasses of wine. The next morning, she listened to what they'd come up with to see if it held up in the cold light of day. As she told People magazine, "I listened to it and we were like, it just felt really honest and it felt truthful. The theme of the song is evident in its title," as Madison explained. "It's kind of a hug to my younger self and then kind of a pat on the back I would give to my current self to bring the fun back into everything again." In July 2024, Madison followed up Kinda Fun with a second single, Chiller. While music takes up some of her time, Madison has never strayed far from her main vocation. She took on a multi-episode stint in the 2023 series The Hardy Boys, for example, as well as a return to the world of Pretty Little Liars for a second season in 2024. In 2024, Madison signed on for a project that returned her to the rom-com realm, 40 Dates and 40 Nights. Madison is set to star as Leah, a woman who has been decidedly unlucky in love. Her grandmother, played by young Sheldon alum Annie Potts, makes her a deal. If Leah can't find love after going on 40 back-to-back dates, then she'll pay her rent for an entire year. Then, in May 2025, Madison landed another gig joining the cast of Rocky Top College. With a screenplay from former NBA star Jarnell Stokes, the quasi-autobiographical story follows a basketball prodigy who turns down a major university to enroll at a small, obscure college. Madison will star alongside Jabari Banks in the film.